Everybody, and welcome back to the Slasher Hour. I'm your host, Lurch.
And I'm Darkman.
Sit back and crack a cold one and enjoy. Today we are joined by Mr. The Myth, the Legend himself, Mr. Jonny Noize. John, thank you so much for being here.
Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers. This is awesome.
Cheers, man. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm a serial killer. Body's buried in the backyard. No, seriously, just an average guy, man. You know, came up in the late 70s, early 80s through the whole kind of punk scene, you know, as far as music goes. You know, I did a whole career in the Navy, which we had talked about before. But, you know, I'm just your average rhythm guitar player, man. You know, just out here trying to have some fun, trying to make some new music. And we're hoping that everything goes according to plan, you know. So it's been real exciting ride since the re-release from Cleopatra of the Noize album.
Oh yeah.
So we've really been super stoked about that. New stuff to come, so stand by for that. But it's been really to be put back into this music realm again, because I was out of it for so long. I've always played guitar. I sat in with somebody. I was in New Orleans, I guess, for 16 years, roughly. So there was always a place to go play. So I never was without a guitar and amp and somewhere to go and hang out and play music. And when this happened, we had already moved to where we are now, out in the middle of nowhere, where there's nothing going on. So, you know, this gives me some direction. It got me back into music. You know, my cousin Steve was a big influence with all of this happening. And we basically, just like the old commercial says, you know, we got the band back together, you know. So, you know, this time was like for real.
Right.
So it's been really cool with all this happening. And it allowed me, you know, personally, to meet so many people because of the whole Morning Noize release. I can't even begin to tell you that the people that I have spoke to, the people that I chat with on the internet and other mediums from all over the place. You know, Turkey, Germany, France, Italy, and I'm just in awe of the people who have kind of reached out and accepted the re-release and talk about their music. And it's a two-way street. You know, I listen to a bunch of different bands and give them my support on social media as well. You know, it's kind of a two-way street with this whole horror punk thing, if you will. You know, so we got to kind of stick together and make it work, so to speak.
That's right. What got you into horror?
Man, $64,000 question. Well, I have to say, it kind of started out with like Ramones, Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys was like the original punk stuff I was listening to when I started listening to punk. And of course, I lived down the street from the Misfits. And so it just kind of went from there. We always just did our own thing, though. It wasn't like, oh, I need to play guitar like this guy, or we need to sound like this, and it was just always our own thing. And then once we started doing that, literally from a basement, started out playing, we just did our own thing. There wasn't really, for me anyway, there wasn't a direct influence from a particular band or person.
Right.
And it just blew up. You know, here I am, you know, a nobody, basically going through school, you know, this is way back when. And when this happened, and our first 45 came out, you know, you got to put it in perspective. When I had a record come out, we did the 45. I rode a motorcycle to school my senior year.
Nice.
So I was like, you know, I was like the man just for that little microcosm of a second. You know, I was the man. You know, everything I wore was cut off sleeves. You know, I got my first tattoo, and I was still, you know, so I was like, should have been studying probably, but I was out doing shows where I was in high school. You know, I didn't care. Sleeping in first period history, just knocked out. You know, just not doing really good. So, you know, but you know, at that point I was 18, before I graduated, there's really nothing they could do about it.
Right.
So I said, hell with it, and we're just doing our thing. So it's all good. I can't really say that there was, again, for me, any kind of real music influence that steered me towards it, because I just kind of fell into it.
Right.
And one thing led to another, hanging out to different clubs, the Dirt Club, CB's, Max's,
Nice.
playing the shows at the show place in Dover and stuff like that. So we didn't start out, it wasn't Morning Noise, wasn't like the very beginning of all of this stuff.
Right.
We went through a series of different band names. There was Implosion, there was Generation 1, I think, at one point. Here's one for you. I think I was, I got probably junior high school. All right, so, and we named ourselves the Vomits.
Nice.
Literally the Vomits, right?
Nice.
So back then, they had this curriculum where the guys had to take home ec,
Uh-huh.
and the girls had to take auto shop, just switch it up.
Right.
So I made this vest, and I put the Vomits on it, and I had the dog chain with the collar and the big safety pin and all this crazy stuff. And of course, subsequently I got sent home for inappropriate attire. I'm like, oh really? I came back the next day with Sex Pistols t-shirt.
Right.
Got sent home again. So and that's kind of what we back then. I didn't have any money. Everything we did was just from the ground up. My clothing was just torn jeans and whatever ripped shirts I can pin together. So it was easy to fit into this whole world this whole punk world, because that was the trend.
Right.
And for me, it was almost like a necessity, because I didn't wear the fancy jeans and drive an IROC Z, and we had nothing.
Right.
So acceptance wise, it was great for me, because it was okay, I was punker and my whatever, and I was like, okay. But it just allowed me to kind of express myself without having to go and spend a bunch of money. I mean, I wore this from the Dirt Club. They sell these little dirt bags with neon dirt written across it. So I mean, anything, just something silly. So anyway, that's how I kind of fell into all this stuff.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
So okay, first off, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to hold a Navy thing against you. Former Marine right here.
Oh shit. I got a special place in my heart for Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. I appreciate your service, man.
Hoorah.
I was embedded with the Mardet unit on the USS Nimitz years ago. So yeah, we were headbangers and got into our share of fights in Germany and stuff. And so
I was only
so it's all good, brother, man. It's all good.
I was on two ships, the USS Kearsarge and the USS Wasp.
The Wasp. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
Both
I
the
was
same
a carrier
ship,
guy,
basically.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. Like I said, I did what I had to do and living the life,
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So what kind of bike you ride?
Right now, I went back to Harley. I've been going back and forth with motorcycles literally since high school. Started out with a little. I think it was a Yamaha 650 with the chrome fenders. It was like the Fonzie bike, you know what I mean? And I got it from my girlfriend's sister's boyfriend had the bike or something, and and we didn't have any money back then to even drive the family car, because in Jersey to get put on the insurance, it's very expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's like, when I drive the car, you better go get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working part-time at this little auto parts store with a bunch of bikers, and they got me the bike, the money for the bike, my permit, my license. They basically set me up. So when I went home, I had my tag, my license, my insurance, and my parents were pissed, but they couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
Right.
So it was already set up. So that's going from Honda, Yamaha, Harley, Victory, back to Harley. I got a little 2013 Heritage Softail. So it's a nice little bike. It's got the skulls on it and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. And so I think we're just going to hang on to that for now, especially what's going on with the market now.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to hang on to what you have, and everything's way overinflated price-wise.
Yep.
Every time I go to Harley Davidson, they want to buy the bike from me. No, it's not for sale, dude.
Well, HD stands for $100, so.
It does. It does. I got friends that have boats and bring out another 1,000. Every time you turn around, it's like money.
Right.
So it's all good, man. Like I said, just hanging on to what I have right now and just enjoying, riding a Harley around. It's all good.
Well, you drive a Heritage, so do I. I got a 2018 Heritage 114.
Oh man, that must be nice to be rich.
No. Oh no. I got that through a program called Hogs for Heroes.
Really?
Oh yeah, they put it's a Wisconsin-based organization. They put injured veterans back on the road for healing, so they buy them a Harley, and they're a nonprofit. Oh yeah,
that is awesome.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it is awesome.
I'm moving.
Yeah, right. Come on.
The hardest thing for me is when they took me to the dealership was don't look at the price, find your bike.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is so awesome that any organization does that for a vet.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I support the VFW here and Wounded Warriors and stuff like that. It's just there's so much stuff going on, and these people who are really, really hurt. You know, I have some injuries here and there, but I'm walking and talking, so I'm not complaining. You know, I went to the VA clinic to get my ID card recently, and the people that were there were just like literally lost half their body, and they got like prosthetics. I'm like, oh my god, I can't complain.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still working, and these folks are just—it's unbelievable what they went through. And it puts it in perspective. They really need to take care of these people, and I think that anything like that, any program like that, is you know, would have my support 100%. That's so awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Plus, get a Harley. I mean,
well, hell, tomorrow they're gifting 2 bikes. I was the 6th recipient. They're up to 26 and 27, starting tomorrow. Yeah.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. And they raise money. They have no overhead. Anything that they like patches or pins or whatever that comes out of their pocket, all the money they get is for that veteran for that bike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that, dude.
Thank you.
I had to pay for mine, son of a bitch.
I know, right? I don't ride.
Look, I'm going to send you my payment book.
Yeah, sure.
Holy shit.
What has been your favorite show to see or play? Do you have like a most memorable show?
Like music-wise, or?
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man. That's kind of a tough one. But if you want to go back to New York or so, I would have to say the Dead Kennedys was a really cool show.
Awesome.
I didn't stage dive or anything, but people were just leaping off the speakers, and that was just wild, you know.
Right.
And I think there's such a presence when they're on stage. Like at that time, I was really kind of impressed by that, just to take control of the audience the way they did, and so definitely the Kennedys. Punk wise, oh man. Of course, there was Wendy O and Plasmatics, and she'd be chainsawing a car in half,
Awesome.
just crazy stuff like that, So, but I got to say that, and I mean, recent, fast forward, I've been to like Kiss concerts and stuff like that, and which were really cool. Definitely loud. That's probably the loudest stuff I ever heard in my life. You walk out of there, your head's just like, you don't hear for like 2 days after a Kiss concert. They got speakers everywhere, so it's just crazy. And then I was recently down in Atlanta to see my cousin Steve and then Glenn do a Danzig show, and they were awesome. And the other bands that had played, they really put on a good show. And, so it was really, really cool. And I always try to get somewhere, especially when I go see my cousin play with Glenn, I try to get somewhere in the middle of the venue, kind of see everything and not get stuck off in a corner up against the stage where you just can't hear anything.
Right.
Like always up in the center, and it's kind of wide. And it's kind of, for me, it's kind of bittersweet in a way to see my cousin Steve up there playing and thousands of people, just going crazy. And you want to be up there, It's like, man, I want to stand next to those guys and play,
Yeah.
And I know he's on tour with Glenn, and that's just the way it is. But he really, really, they really do a great show. And I gotta say that's probably another one of my favorite bands to see, because obviously it's my cousin. I want to go see him.
Yeah.
And Glenn was on a really awesome show. I mean, people went, they go absolutely wild.
Right.
When they got on stage. So that was definitely pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite horror film?
Man, I knew you were going to ask me that. And I was thinking, what the flip, I mean, I like the old, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers type films, stuff like that. I would say the film that like freaked me out the most overall would have to be The Exorcist.
Oh, okay. Love that movie.
And it's not real, but man, even to this day, if you can sit in a room, put The Exorcist on, dim the lights, and just get freaked.
Right, right.
That movie just freaked me out. So I like the kind of the old school stuff.
Yeah.
So because they didn't have a lot of the special effects like they do now. Now you can green screen anything.
Yeah, it's all CGI.
Fly through the air and kill monsters all day.
Yeah.
So it was more. It predicated more on the actor's ability to portray that moment.
Yes.
And I mean that's what I kind of like.
Yeah.
If you can pull that off and scare the bejesus out of somebody with just laying on the bed and having this priest in front of you, and having a dialogue, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, right? Or throw up green slime everywhere.
Acting,
Yeah,
If you're in there running and there's a green screen behind you and they get all these special effects, it's acting, but you don't have to be as good, I don't think, because there's so much stuff going on now with all this CGI and all this other stuff. It kind of, it does enhance the movie experience, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's more of a craft to it back then.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Instead of going and just standing in front of the screen going, oh, and nothing's happening. Then you play it back and then you're getting like mangled. So
right.
Yeah. But yeah. So I would say the old school stuff is definitely some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah, I think I agree with you because I think that some of the CGI kind of takes the piss out of, like more practical effects movies back in the 70s and 80s, like The Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street. You've got fucking The Thing. Like Nightmare on Elm Street and The Thing, those are like two of the best practically affected movies ever made, especially Nightmare on Elm Street, because back in 84, I mean, what did you have for, you didn't have CGI, and you got Tina being dragged down the hallway completely with nobody there. I mean, so it's so amazing to see what they could do back then, And,
And I'm sure the actors and or the stand-ins, whatever, they got banged up pretty good. I mean, okay, we're going to toss you through the window and stab you with a knife and have you get up and then run.
Right.
So this is how it's going down. And if you do 5 or 6 takes of that, you're going through that window 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Good luck to you.
Right.
So, well, yeah. So I think acting wise, there was a lot more in it back then. So that's just kind of how I feel. Now, I go, I like the modern stuff too, but I got to say I have a little more respect for the old school stuff.
100% agree with you, man. So I have this question to everybody that's on the show, but if you were stuck on a desert island and you could only take one band and one of their albums with you, who are you taking with you?
Wow.
Yeah.
One band. Jeez. And one album too?
Yeah.
So it's got to be like the band and that particular album, and
or just one band or whatever you want to do. It's your desert island.
Wow. It's kind of something that you want to hear like repetitive, over and over and over again of just probably the Cult Firewoman.
Ooh. Oh yes,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
And that's coming from like a guitar player. It has a very driving riff to it.
Yes, it does.
And when I rehearse, like before we do any kind of recordings or morning noise stuff or whatever, when I'm just rehearsing, I play the gamut. I'll play Firewoman, I'll play Pistols, I'll play Sid Vicious My Way. I mean, just a little bit of everything. But that song for me, it just has a certain drive to it. It's like one of those songs you can feel in your chest if you crank it up loud enough.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would have to go with that.
Hell yeah. What is your take on today's music? I know there's a lot of great horror punk bands that have come out. A lot of great bands that are that have come out today. like such as 5 Cent Freak Show, Evelyn's Casket. You got Left Hand Black. You've got a lot of great bands coming out. What are some of your take on the newer music coming out? And did you ever think?
I I think you know, if you want to look at it from like the horror punk side of it, you know, I think it's all great, and I think and I really am kind of excited and appreciate that these guys are still playing this type of music and they're still pushing this kind of horror punk movement. I didn't realize it was this big.
Yeah, I didn't either.
When I got back into it, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden, my phone Facebook page went absolutely
insane,
off the charts. I'm like, Jesus, who's listening to this stuff anymore? You know what I mean? And then to find out people are popping up with like our old Morning Noise 45 from like years ago. I've had this in my collection for, you know, like, where'd you get that? I don't even have one anymore. I don't know what it's even mine, you know? I'm like, I've been hounding my cousin, please, because, you know, when you get on everything set up with your studio, if you have it, the original Morning Noise 45, I had a whole stack of them, and I have no idea what happened to them. You know, you see them on sale for this crazy amount of money, because, you know, and people are just willing to pay it because they want that. There are no more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like anything else. That is it. No matter what's on that record, there are no more, and they're just you can't find them.
And there's something special about holding the 45 versus buying it online. You can download music all you want, but there's something special about that holding on to that record.
Right, and vinyl, of course, is coming back. You know, you know, everything's coming back on vinyl, which is cool. And we put our stuff on multicolored vinyl.
Okay.
And it's right. It's something tangible. You can hold. It's not just something you download like on a zip drive and say, oh, plug it into the car or in your headset and go.
Right.
You know, and so I think that there is a resurgence of this, which is good, and people are collecting the Morning Noise record in multiple colors. And I see it all the time on Facebook and stuff, and it's like, hey, I got the blue one, hey, I got we got the purple one, and I got the red one, you know, and then the white one came out, and I didn't even know, you know, so it's like, I called Cleopatra, I'm like, I don't have the white one, man, what's going on?
Yeah, right.
So you know, I called and said, you know, could you send me a white copy? Would you send me two? Because I think Steve also did not have a white copy.
Oh wow.
So I got two wherever he found them, and so I sent one to my cousin, and because there was just no more.
Mm-hmm.
Once they were just gone, and people just popping up all over the place. And then there was like mismatched colors that when they were pressing it, something happened to the dye or wherever they color the records, and like an off pink color or off purple color. It's like, where are they getting all this stuff? So I don't have it. I got two sets of just standard colors, and I got the white one. That's it.
Right.
And it's just, and people have, and I think it's really, it gives folks the opportunity, you know, to have a whole collection of stuff, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
You know, the inside of the album has a bunch of pictures from way back when.
Right.
I mean, I was in my dorky glasses, a Twilight Zone T-shirt. I'm like, oh God, you really put that in there, man? I'm like, son of a. So, but it was part of it. You know what I mean? It was that was part of that thing. And I was like, all right, you know, just so, and it was all cool, and just a lot of course, the forward written by Glenn was great, and I certainly, I thanked him for that when I met him down in Atlanta. So, and he had an influence on the album cover as well.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to remember back then it was, you know, cut and paste and make a copy or draw it yourself. You know, it wasn't, you didn't go on the internet and download some wild pictures. Okay, boom, album cover done. You know. It was all done by hand or an artist, or, you know, and we all cycled through art class in different, you know, I was 2 years behind like Steve and Doyle.
Right.
And but we all cycled through this art class. We did photography and art, and we made T-shirts, and we just did it all ourselves. Our early posters, like if you were doing like say a CBGB show or Max's Kansas City or what have you, you know, you went out and printed these pictures, these posters, little flyers, whatever, and you went to New York and you wallpapered, you know, everywhere around that venue. You went to the village, just went nuts. Mm-hmm. And that's all it was in New York. If you walked down the street, there was people plastering their signs over yours, and it was like a sign. It was like a poster war. You know, who's playing it? But that's how you got the word out. there was no clicking the button. Okay, 10,000 people just saw this.
Yeah.
No, you got on a bus, you went to New York, and you hit the streets and you got your stuff out there.
Yeah.
And that's how. I mean, we made it. It was all done literally with black and white cameras. You cut the picture out, tape it to the thing, and you make some copies, and that's how it was.
Yeah.
So it was, and I think that we didn't have the instant satisfaction that you do today. So there was more work involved, which I think in the long run give you more gratification at the end of the game, because you went and did the leg work. You went and put your stuff out there instead of just clicking a button and then hey, I'm an instant YouTube star.
Exactly.
So it has that different feel to it. And don't get me wrong, I watch my share of YouTube videos, and I think there are a lot of amazing musicians out there. And you see some stuff, you're like, man, I hate this kid. 9-year-old guy is shredding on a guitar. I'm like, find out where he lives. We're gonna abduct this little. What's going on? But it's so. But you would never know,
right?
Anything about that or about these people if it wasn't for
social media. You're right, yeah.
And there are really, really some really talented people out there, and I'm like, man, I suck. These guys are amazing.
Yeah.
So I stay in my lane as far as music goes. I know I'm a rhythm guy. You're not gonna see me shredding, some kind of Van Halen lead anytime soon or in the near future. Trust me. Always was just like kind of the rhythm guitar player, or a few times I even played bass.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of really super talented people out there, and I have to applaud them. They're just amazing.
I agree, and I think that's what makes punk rock special, is the fact that back in the day you had to do all the work yourself. You couldn't rely on social media. If you wanted to play a show, no one knew about that show unless you handed out flyers. And I think that's what makes punk rock special, is the fact that you had to do so much work to get to that show and then broadcast that show by hand and then bring people in to sell tickets. Because no one would know about you unless you pounded the pavement and went out. And I think that's what makes punk special.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of late nights in New York. Now, of course, it wasn't much to get us to jump on a bus and go to New York, or I was the last one to actually get a driver's license, so I relied on these guys. And
right,
there was plenty of times where we hook up with some people in New York and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and go and get Chinese food. We would go eat Bobby Steele, at a Chinese restaurant or something in New York. And like 2 o'clock, like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Well, we're on our way. So it's just, that whole vibe. The different stores and clothing stores and music stores, that are probably closed now. Like, we shopped at Trash in Vaudeville, Bleecker Bob's, and all these different. So if you didn't get up off your chair and go to these places, no
one knew who you were.
To get your music, to get your 45s, to get your albums, get your shirts, whatever it is. It wasn't just click a button and 2 days later Amazon drops it off on your doorstep.
Yeah.
You had to really go out, and I kind of I'm glad I kind of went through that process back then. We had a lot of fun.
That's all the fun about it is promoting your shows. I still do that. When we play shows, I go out and I print my own flyers and I hand them out. I hand them out. I still do that. Well, I'll post them on social media as well, but I still like the idea of like getting a stack of flyers, and I'll make Polaroid like pictures of them, and I'll make them on the computer, and I'll just put my band name on them, and I'll give it to the band, I'll give it to the bar where we're playing or wherever we're playing, and I'll hand them out to every person I know. Especially like the day of the show, and I'll still do that because that's the fun of it. That's the biggest part of it.
Oh yeah. When we did the Black Friday show in New Jersey, I came with a bunch of stuff, and I had some morning noise guitar picks made and stuff like that, and it was just to hand them out.
Yeah.
And that whole thing was all done for charity. So there wasn't there was no money to be made. It all went to charity.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I figured, okay, I got some morning noise picks, and I had some pictures and some other stuff. We had a table set up. So you're right, and people, I think, appreciate that. other than just coming to the show and walking, hey man, here's a pic, here's a photo, here's whatever, something to give them from the show, and I'm sure it brings them back as well. Hey, that was cool. We picked up a CD. I got boxes of CDs, and and I could be sitting somewhere selling them or whatever, and I give them away. And it's my own expense. I order 20, 30 at a time, and I'll mail them to people. I have posters that I do, and of course the pics and stuff. And if someone asks for them, like a friend of mine, his son, which I didn't know, was big into our music and the Misfits and stuff like that, and he was freaking out, so I sent him a poster, some pics, a CD, a shirt.
And that meant the world to my bet too.
It's just to say, like, just say thanks, man. I appreciate your support, man, and you don't have to just go click on the internet to download a picture of so I'll send you stuff. Now I don't even think about it. Just pop it in the mail and and send it out. So I think people appreciate that more than just downloading a picture of whatever.
I agree.
Get something tangible in the mail. It's a big tube. Of course, they pull out is my fat head. So I mean, I saw it going, but regardless, I'm sorry for your luck, man. But you got a Jonny Noize poster. It is what it is, man. Probably throwing darts at it. It's like, oh, jeez.
Right.
So it's all good, man. I got fun, and it's at this stage, I laugh at myself, going, I'm like a cartoon character at this stage. I'm like, when I got nothing to lose, let their hair go, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's so I just want to have some fun. I want to do some music, and keep meeting new people. And that to me is really a big part of it. All the different people. If it wasn't for all of this Morning Noise stuff happening, I would have never met an Anthony Noble. I'm looking at his picture now on my wall, and we've talked on the phone a bunch of times.
I love that dude.
He is awesome. He is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's done a few pictures for me, and one for a show I did, and he's doing well, and I'm glad.
Yeah, he's really kicking ass out there.
Graphic artist,
he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
That digital format. I mean, one time he posted a thing. He was like doing a picture while he's getting tattooed. This guy's like, what he's like, I'm getting a tattoo, drinking a beer, and I'm doing it tomorrow. And I'm like, holy shit,
right?
Like multitasking.
Yeah, I know.
So, but yeah, he's a super cool guy, and we kind of try to keep in touch, and so I definitely wish him well and all his art ventures and stuff, and I think he'll do really, really, really well.
I know he will. He's yeah.
Yeah, I got a coffee mug of his. I'm actually thinking about getting that put on my chest as a tattoo. We'll see. Time will tell.
Right. But, I'm actually gonna get our band logo. I'm gonna get the one he drew for us. I'm gonna get that tattooed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a one of a kind, and just to first of all, it's cool as hell. Yeah. The coffee mug I got is just awesome. It's that skull with the purple and blue. It's got the sunglasses. I'm like, it's just a cool picture. But not only that, just to have something to commemorate, that somebody I know drew this. This wasn't like I walked into a tattoo parlor and said, "Can I get the Snoopy off the wall?" And,
right.
And just you can't put it on my ass. We're good. Whatever. I got my fair share of ink, and a lot of this stuff is drawn. Yeah. We piece stuff together. I have a pretty good artist here that does some work, and he's also a Marine, so another misled child. Yeah. But, really good artist, and so we've pieced together some stuff on my arm. I did my inner forearms, and he just draws it out and goes. I mean, it's amazing. And now I'm not sure. I'm sure the artists by you, they're using the air guns now, so it's smoother than the old electric motors that you're like, oh man, hurry up.
I'm honestly, I don't know who uses what. My mom does all my tattoos, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, she's been a tattoo artist since I was 15. So, but she moved away, so I got to find somebody new.
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah, I know.
That is all. So she got a tattoo parlor there?
She did, yeah. She had a tattoo parlor. She started tattooing when I was 15. I'm 38 now. So Yeah, she's been tattooing that whole time. She's done a majority of mine, except for my chest and my back. I got that done by somebody else. But she did most of my work. She's been doing tattoos forever. So I always ask her, just blast me, just draw all over me. And she told me I had to get a real job. So otherwise it'd be covered in ink. So I had to go get a real job.
Man. My late brother, he had passed a few years back. He was in New Orleans with me, and he was an artist. So I have a giant, like a Japanese style tiger.
Mm-hmm.
I got back from Cuba. I was in Cuba for almost a year, and I got back. This is right when Katrina hit.
Oh wow!
So we decided to do this big tiger on my back. My brother was 6'5", 250 pounds. He was a big guy. He was heavy-handed. Man, that was the most evil thing I've ever done, because we did the whole outline in like one setting, hours and hours. So I had this big guy leaning on me. I'm like, oh man. And it hurt like hell, And we wound up finishing up in one of the tattoo shops once they kind of reopened in New Orleans. And so that's one piece I'll never have like touched up or anything,
right?
Because he's gone. And then I have a panther on my arm that was done by English Craig, and he also passed from New Orleans. So I'll never touch up this one either.
Right.
I just leave it be. I keep them covered. When I go to work, I wear the sun sleeves. If I'm riding a bike, I cover up because number one, it costs money.
Yeah.
You got to go get them touched up. But number two, it's a piece of art, in my opinion, and I want to keep it. I want to keep it looking good.
Yeah.
So I keep them covered up. So it's just like any other hobby. For me, that's what it is. Some people, they do whatever, and I play my music, and I like getting a couple tats here and there. I think I'm about done. I don't know.
I always say that, and then I end up getting one, and I can't stop.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
It is. It really is.
It is. And it's like, wow. What it is, because it's like, what's next? And my wife, who would never get a tattoo, not in a million years. She's a little 4'11" Cajun. I was like, no way. Just like. So when she saw the stuff that this guy did, she got a little back piece. I was like, really? I almost passed out when she went up and booked her time. I was like, are you sure about this? So, and that's probably the only one she'll ever get. But yeah, she was that impressed with this guy that she jumped on the table. I was like, holy shit.
That's crazy, dude.
So yeah. Now you know why the world's in turmoil, because she got a tattoo. So that's it. That was like the sign right there. I was like, wow, what happened? But like I said, it's all good. He did a really good job. So it's just one of those things. I don't think I'll ever do my hands or anything like that. Maybe my forearms. I'll figure something out.
Right.
The next idea, trust me, he's coming.
Well, John, we had a blast talking to you. What's next for you?
Man, we have right now in production an LP coming out from Cleopatra. So, of course, things are slow because of materials and finding people to work. I'm sure it's just been slow. Everything's been really slowed down. So we have that hopefully coming out. We're working on a bunch of new songs, kind of piecing them together while we have time, while we have this kind of downtime. And so they get stuff together, send me the files, I'll do my rhythm tracks, and we kind of go back and forth, which it makes it a lot easier being remote, because everybody's still in Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that's not there. So it just makes it easy. With the programs that you have now, you get a WAV file and just send stuff back and forth. So we're working on a bunch of stuff like that. I did play some guitar with the Casket Kids, which are a good bunch of guys. They're doing a show tonight. With my eye problem, obviously, I'm not on stage, but they're grinding it out. So there's a lot of cool bands here locally, and I'll gladly go sit in and play with. But I've sat in, did some studio time and rehearsing and stuff like that with the Casket Kids. But I think on the overall, we're really pushing to get some more updated morning noise songs. And when this stuff comes out, if it is, I can't even explain the sound to you. It is way different than what you would ever expect. Yeah, people are gonna. I'm hoping they accept it because it's not.
I can't fucking wait. I mean, I cannot fucking wait, dude.
It's amazing. Robbie's really our singer is really talented. Another guy, I hate this guy. I love him and I hate him. He's so talented. He's very talented. He plays drums. He plays keyboards. He plays, and I'm not talking just sits behind and plays chopstick. This guy can play.
Mm-hmm.
He can pick up an instrument, he can shred on guitar. I'm like, son of a bitch, And it's like one of those guys that doesn't even look down. I'm like staring at my fretboard going, shit, and this guy's like singing and playing and he's going and shredding. I'm like, motherfucker, man. He's super talented individual. And the rest of the guys, I haven't seen them in so long. It was really great when I got to see, Chris and Tommy and of course my cousin and when we did the show, it was like a big family and friends reunion. It was really great. A lot of crying and hugging. My cousin was Denise. She was clinging on to me. It was great. I had a really nice time. And of course, then we crashed the diner at 3:00 in the morning. The whole group. It was like, it was like we were kids again. I was like, let's go. Holy shit! It's like 3 a.m. Where we going? So we crashed the diner and took up the whole center, raising hell, and just, which we used to do when we were kids. You're up all night and you hit the diner, man.
Right.
Hell yeah.
3:00 in the morning. The only thing open by us was like the diner or like the 7-Eleven. So
right.
You got a choice. So it was real cool, and we're like I said, we're hoping to get all this stuff put together. I'm dying to do some more shows, and of course, there's a lot of logistics involved. There's a lot of what's going on. With the world and our country, there's a lot of stuff you got to take into consideration. Can you get a flight here? Or there, when the whole COVID thing just really squashed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It was very difficult. And it was scary too, because you're like, you do the right thing, and you get on the planes and you got your mask on, you're thinking, man, this one person inadvertently could really just throw your whole world into a tailspin. And I just don't know. And then it's like, where's the truth on this stuff, and where's the propaganda, and where's the BS? So somewhere in the middle, I'm sure of all of this stuff is really what's going on.
Yeah.
But you still have to take your precautions.
Yeah.
And you keep moving. So I hope everything settles down a bit, and I hope people, if I can have any kind of message to wrap this up with you guys, I hope that everybody can kind of just, especially what's going on in today's world, take a step back. Don't be angry at your friends and family, regardless of whatever their opinion is on any subject matter, whatever. They are your friends and family before some politician or before anybody make any kind of decision to piss you off. Never go against your friends and your family, whether they agree. You can always agree to disagree on anything. Don't let these people break you away from your friends. And I'm hoping that people will turn to music. That's what I do. Turn off the news, turn on the music. That's probably the best advice I can tell anybody. Shut your brain off. Get some headbanging stuff going or whatever you're into. I don't care, and just crank it up and take a break. And I think you'll feel a lot better. Just as a therapeutic thing on a daily basis. Play some music. I come in here. I get home from work at 1:30, put my headset on, man, I'm bouncing all over this freaking room. You know what I mean? It's like, that's my therapy, man. I get home and I go crazy. At 3:00 in the morning, I'm playing.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. And I think if people took that approach, it would kind of take away some of that mental stress of what's going on. Just take a break from it. Listen to some noise. Put on some Sex Pistols, Ramones, whatever you want to do. It's if you like it, whatever. Just it gives you that few minutes. It gives you an out.
Yeah, agreed.
It gives you an out, and I think that's so important. To entertain yourself through music. So that's kind of my. This is a public service announcement. Yeah, Johnny fuckhead. Hey, whatever. It's all good. Like I say, I really think that that music plays a big part in a lot of people's lives. Mine, definitely mine, and it really helps me cope with all the BS that's going on. And just crank it up, man. Put your headset on and just blow off that steam. Let it go. I think that this and like COVID, and when people are stuck and can't afford to go out, or whatever the case is, and then with all these issues that are going on, it allows artists to present their craft via the internet or what have you to these people that are home going, well, what do you do? Well, let's go online and see what this band's doing. Let's see what this artist is drawing. Let's see, So it does kind of give you a more of a captive audience, if you will. They're going to watch this show or other podcasts, because maybe they can't afford the $5 for gas to go out to the movies this week. Well, let's go on the computer and see what's going on. So so from in that respect, this medium, your Facebooks and your YouTube, whatever, it gives people a chance to take a break as well. And the more of them that are sitting around going, oh, we're stuck at home, what do we do? Well, play your music, come on and watch some videos, and it gives them that opportunity to explore bands and music, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to thank you very much for being on today. We had an absolute blast. If you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you want to follow John and all of his bands, they'll all be linked in the description box below. Thank you so much, John. Don't go anywhere. We got a few more questions for you. Everybody else, until next time, I'm Lurch.
I'm Darkman.
And you've been Slash. Thank you so much, man. Absolute
Rock
fucking
on,
legends.
Guys. Rock
Absolute
on,
fucking legend.
Thank you so much, man. This was awesome.
Hell yeah.